Hey guys, what is up? Bringing the boa here, and we're doing another feeding video. So let's see. There she is. You may also know she has no cage decorations in there. That's because I just cleaned her cage and I did a complete reset essentially. So I actually been if you guys saw the update video on the tricolors that I put out recently, I'm filming this right after that. But let's see here if she is hungry. I'll zoom in first since she is on the farther side of the bin. I will try to get a better shot so that way if she does start to eat, you guys will get to see it. I was thinking that she's hungry because she was very, very mobile this morning, moving around a lot and very interested in my fingers. Oop. Oh, now I gotta clean that off. Problem with having wood shavings as a bedding and having frozen thawed mice is the fact that the wood shavings, if you drop the mouse or drag the mouse on anything in there, it is going to stick to it. So that is one challenge that you'll probably face if you own a snake that isn't arboreal. Let's see. So she's drinking the water off of it. The way she's pushing into it, yep, that's what I figured she was doing. Let's see if I can rearrange that a bit better. There we go. I'm actually very happy that she's eating because I want to get her up to a couple hundred grams by next breeding season. So that way I can have the chance of producing snows, because she's, like I've mentioned several times, she potentially carries the albino gene, and how you make snows is albinos crossed with exanthics, but since they're both recessive, it's a double visual animal, which a double visual, again, if you haven't seen my genetic videos or haven't heard me talk about it, the stupid weird hiccup things that I get when I record. A double visual is an animal that has two recessive genes that are present and currently active, so you can see both of them. And the problem with recessive genes is that they are more than likely overshadowed by a dominant gene, and so that is why it is very difficult to make double visual and triple visual animals, because it requires a lot of effort unless one of those genes is a super gene, which a super means that there are I don't know if I want to get too in depth, probably not. Basically you cross two of them together and it makes a very heightened version of it. So with hognoses there's the anaconda gene, which you can have the regular condas, which they shortened conda because people used to get confused between the anaconda snake and the anaconda gene on hognoses. Basically an anaconda gene expressed hognose will have very reduced patterning. I don't have one, so I can't really show you, but the blotching, the dorsal blotching right here, would be very, very, I'm trying to think of the right word. It'd be lessened to a great extent, but there would still be blotches here and there. And it also kind of depends on the individual. It is a variable gene. But then when you breed two condas together, you'll get a super conda, which takes roughly everything past the head stamp right here, the markings on the face and the back of the head. It'll take everything else off and it will just be the base color of the animal. Another good one I can think of is a super arctic or the super JMG exanthic. Those are both the same thing. Just two different names. Arctic is the more common term for it now, but I still see people every now and then referring to them as JMG exanthics. but the Arctic gene also is a super. But now that I'm off of that tangent of super genes, I'm excited to get her up to breeding size to breed with Percy, because Percy is probably full grown-ish. He's getting very close, so by next breeding season he will be full grown. Oh, let's try to get this out of the wood chips so that she doesn't ingest anything. But since he is just albino, and she is just, like, she expresses xanthic and then she's a pos het albino. That's what I want to test really badly, because if her het proves out, both Percy, my albino male, and Valentine, the gift from my girlfriend, the red phase, the purple line red phase male that I have, who's also very small at the moment, but will get bigger, will both be extremely helpful and crucial for me to get snows, because Percy is just an albino. So if she has the albino gene, I will get albino babies that are het xanthic out of it, as well as some normals that are het snow. And then obviously I'm going to keep some of those and breed back to each other to try to test it out and see which ones I got, but it'll be a 2-generational project. But then there are there's the case with Valentine, who he's a purple line red phase, so he's going to be like a burgundy color snake, and he's going to be a very gorgeous snake. But on top of that, he carries albino, but then and that's guaranteed, and then he potentially carries xanthic. Now if she proves out with her albino, she is xanthic. So that means that if I breed her to Valentine, I can prove out whether he carries xanthic. And if he does, I will get some snow babies out of it. Not a lot. There's not a high percentage. I did the calculations the other day on Morph Market, and everything would be a potential to be a purple line, because it is an extreme purple line, which means the burgundy colors are heightened. But that's just my little thing there. I have basically a lot of my animals are geared towards making the snow gene. Once I produce more, I should say once I produce some snakes, I will start focusing on different projects. But I'm hoping that she doesn't get any of that in her mouth. Once I produce some snakes, regardless of what they are, tricolors or westerns, mainly for the westerns, because that's probably going to happen sooner now than with the tricolors. But when she is of breeding size and Percy is, it'll be fun, because I'll get to see if there's any albino babies. That means she carries albino, which then makes it just one step to make snows, because I can just breed the offspring either to each other or breed one of the offspring back to the mom. And that is probably what I'm going to do. But, hi, are you still hungry? That's all you're getting for now. I'm trying to get her feeding on smaller meals. I'm actually cooling down my animals to some extent instead of having the heat lamp on them all the time. Just because I want to see if that encourages them to put on more weight or not. Because I've noticed the males that have been eating have been closer to the wall and farther from the heat lamp, and they've been putting on weight so well. So I'm going to see if she will put on more weight quicker, just so that way I can, enhance the ability to breed them by next season, or even potentially even later this breeding season. But that's pretty much my little spiel there. It's been going for almost 10 minutes, but yeah, I'm excited, hoping that turns out. But once I produce some albino potential albino babies, I shouldn't get too excited. But once I breed her and Percy together, the season after that, I'm going to breed her to Tiber, which is my toffee belly male, to try to produce some het toxic babies. So basically, my first project is to either produce some albino het snows, or to produce just some normals that are het snows. Um, and then the season after that is going to be about toxics and starting that up, because I actually have less to work with in terms of toxics, considering I only have one toffee male and I only have one female that is exanthic. So I have a little bit less to work with in that regard, because I only have a visual of each, neither of them being het for anything. Whereas the snows, I have two potential males I can use. One that is a potential het for both, then a female that is a potential het for both well, a visual for one and then a het for the other. So if they both prove out, it'll be fantastic, because I'm really excited about breeding Valentine, because that purple line mixed with Xanthics do come out very, very pretty. They are different shades of gray, and because of the heightened red, there's going to be more grays and blacks. And then the snows are going to come out a little bit more on the pinky side from what I've been told by people, and it's kind of hard to capture in pictures. So I'm very excited to see what they look like in person. But then I'll have the greatest variation in that clutch of Valentine to Azura, because they're going to be, if he proves out to be het Xanthic and she proves out to be het albino, I'll have the potential to get normal babies that are het for both in their purple line potentially, and then I'll have the potential to get albino babies that are purple line. So I don't know how those will turn out. They might turn out very red colored albinos, which will look gorgeous, which is something I've wanted for a long time. And then and those will be het Xanthic or pos het Xanthic. And then I'll have some Xanthic babies that are pos het or het albino, and then the potential for snows, a very small percentage. And then there will be all of those options that have potential to be purple line. So it'll be, that's the, like, essentially my power pairing for the snow project that I'm working on. Got another one of those weird hiccup burp things somewhere between both, but couldn't really commit to either. But so after that, then I'm going to try toxics, because I do have less to work with and I only have one male. So, and he's toffee, and both are recessive genes, the toffee and the Xanthic. Are you still hungry? You're gonna digest that one first, okay? Yeah, she's still hungry because she's eyeing the tongs. See how she's... I should make sure that... Yeah, you should have been able... Oh, it's out of... Okay, so let's see. She sees the tongs. See how she's following them? It's because it still smells like mice. Let me move over here real quick. Dang. Well, at least you guys got to see her eat, because that was mainly in this area. She's eyeing the tongs because she's still hungry, but I first want her to digest that. And then worst comes to worst, I can either feed her later today or tomorrow. Because what I'm going to do is start feeding smaller meals and slower, to see if that helps her put on more weight, because some of my snakes, if you feed them larger meals, they'll retain it more, but then others, like, I don't think she's one of those that will do that. So I really have no problem changing up how I'm feeding her. Ooh, she's looking right at the camera. But I really have no issue with changing how my feeding tactics, as long as it has results. But yeah, that's been this video. I just thought I'd do a feeding video and kind of explain a little bit on what I'm hoping to accomplish. But thank you guys so much for watching. It's been Bring Me the Boa, and I'm going to cut this off before it hits 15 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't mind, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button if you really like my videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one.